Welcome back to Lemoy Field. Apologies for the technical difficulties. I was silent for the first inning, but now we're here, and if you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you could make me a part of your Thursday afternoon. It's a sunny Thursday for this doubleheader in CACC conference play between Post and Caldwell. Caldwell struck first in the top of the first on an RBI single from Lindsay Aller that brought in Ashley Tavaska, and now Isabella Oliver leads off in the bottom of the first for Post. You saw a look at their lineup in between innings. On the bump for Caldwell is Haley Fisher. She gets Oliver to chase upstairs on the fastball. And the count moves to 1-2. Oliver batting .109 this season. Clips that foul and it stays at 1-2. For Fisher this season, she makes her 11th start, comes in 3-6 on the year with a 5.46 ERA through 21 and a third innings pitched. 11 strikeouts to 12 walks. That chases high upstairs, 2-2. Oliver went 2 for 3 yesterday in Game 2. She goes down on strikes here, and there's one gone on Fisher's first strikeout of the afternoon. That will bring up Alex Biseglia. We'll take a look at this Caldwell defensive alignment. Brooke Freshy is out in center field. She is flanked in right by Lexi Weiss and in left by Mackenzie Nacional. At first is Brooke Martin. Sam Dodonna occupies second. Ashley Tavaska is at short. Lindsay Aller occupies third, and Amanda Preston completes the battery with Fisher behind the plate. Alex Biseglia steps in, batting .146 this season. Went 1 for 5 across the two games yesterday against Assumption. She cuts and misses on that one, and it's 1-2 with one gone. 1-2, lifted foul down the first base line. That is outside, and it's 2-2. Fisher threw yesterday. She threw 7 innings in a 2-1 win against Southern Connecticut State. Just gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 3, and walked 1 in a 2-1 victory for Caldwell. And she gets Biseglia to go down looking. That's back-to-back strikeouts to begin the afternoon for Haley Fisher. First pitch swing and a grounder softly to third, fielded by Aller, and a throw on to first retires Alyssa Calabrese, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first for Haley Fisher. Caldwell heads into the second with a 1-0 lead on the CACC network. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Caldwell in the top of the second inning. Brooke Freshy will lead off, then Amanda Preston and Sam Dodonna to follow. If it gets any further, it'll be Lexi Weiss, the 9-hitter, facing Devin Barnett for post. First pitch from Barnett is low to Freshy, who's batting .259 this season. No home runs with 8 RBIs. Has an on-base percentage at .339. That skips in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Or 1-1, excuse me. This one laid down on a bunt. Barnett fires onto first. It is late, and reaching will be Freshy for a leadoff base hit. A beautifully laid bunt that forced Alex Biseglia to charge in as well. Hannah Searles was late getting over to second. It didn't really matter that the throw was late. And so that sets the table for Amanda Preston, the catcher, batting in the 7 spot. A .240 hitter this season. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Barnett coming into today is 0-3 through 7 appearances. She's making her 4th start of the year. That one gets away from the catcher Hines, and advancing over to second goes Freshy with her 4th stolen base of the season. Actually, that won't be a stolen base. My apology. In for a called strike to Preston. Counts at 1-2. Oh, they did give a stolen base to Brooke Freshy, so I was right the first time. 1-2 is down and away. 2-2. Advancing over to third goes Freshy. A pair of stolen bases on her trip around. She goes over to third. Preston lifts a towering fly ball to shallow left field. Tompkins moves in, makes the grab, and there is one gone. Holding at third is Freshy. Brings up Sam Dodonna, the second baseman, who is batting .167 this year. Still in search of her first RBI of the year. Dodonna in her freshman season out of Staten Island, New York. Looking for her first career RBI and to make it a 2-0 Caldwell lead. She's able to drive one in here on Barnett with with Freshy standing over at third. That comes in high, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss on the 1-1 from Barnett, and the count moves to 1-2. The 1-2 to Dodonna. Chases on the 1-2. She goes down by way of the K. And there's 2 gone on a nice pitch from Devin Barnett for her first strikeout of the afternoon. Has a chance to get out of this second inning with no damage done if she can get through the 9-hitter in Lexi Weiss. Weiss takes the first pitch strike. A .316 hitter this year, 3 RBIs. Starting in her 8th game of the year. Takes that in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Barnett came into today with an even 21 ERA, 0-3 on the year. through 15 and a third innings pitched. That's fouled off of home plate, and it's 1-2. For Barnett, that was just her second strikeout of the year. Had issued 18 walks prior to that. The 1-2 lifted out towards shallow left field. Tompkins charges in. She makes the grab, and the inning is over. Barnett able to escape trouble after Freshie got on a leadoff single, got around a third on a couple of stolen bags, but she forces 3 straight outs, and we head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Caldwell on the CACC network. Bailey Dickinson leads off in the bottom of the second. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in this post order, facing Haley Fisher on the mound for Caldwell. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, delighted to have you with me on this sunny Thursday afternoon. Feels warmer than it is, listed at 46 degrees per my Apple Watch, but with the sun shining, feels a little warmer. Dickinson, a .293 hitter this season. Has 6 RBIs, takes that one outside. And it's 1-1. Fisher misses on the next one, and it's 2-1. Dickinson leading the team in batting average and on-base percentage among qualified hitters. Jammed inside, floats this one down the first base line, and making the running grab is Brooke Martin for out number 1. It's been 4 up and 4 down for Haley Fisher. She'll now face Nyla Sapia, third baseman for post, and then Angelica Tompkins will round things out in the 6th spot. If it gets any further, it'll be Brooke Dickinson, the shortstop for post. First pitch to Sapia misses upstairs, and it's 1-0. Sapia, in her first season with post, transferred over from St. Thomas Aquinas College. She has started to find her groove over the last 12 games, batting .250. She drives this one out towards deep center field, ranging back and making the grab is Brooke Freshie. And there's 2 gone in the bottom of the second. Angelica Tompkins now comes up to bat. Went 1 for 4 yesterday across the 2 games against Assumption. Went 0 for 4 in the opening doubleheader against Bridgeport to begin CACC play. She rockets this one foul down the first base line and into the parking lot. And the 0-1 follows the same suit. Foul ball into the parking lot. 0-2. Fisher looking for her second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. A 3-2 record on the year for Fisher. A 6.42 ERA through 21 and a third innings of work. That's upstairs for ball 1. Tompkins, a 135 hitter, has 5 RBIs on the year. Cuts and misses, and that is strikeout number 3 for Haley Fisher, and it's another 1-2-3 second. 6 up and 6 down through 2 innings for Haley Fisher. We head to the third. 1-0, Caldwell in front. Back to the top of the order as we come into the top of the third here at Lemoy Field on the CACC Network. I'm Matt Scalzo. Glad you could make me a part of your Thursday afternoon. Grace Vondracek leads off for Caldwell with a 1-0 lead. The Cougars struck first in the top of the first on an RBI single from Lindsay Aller. Vondracek up for her second time, popped out to second base her first time up, lays down a bunt, and she's out for the second time as a nice play by Brianna Hines. Fires down to Anna Searles for out number 1. That brings up Brooke Martin. She flew out to center field her last time up. Third on the team in batting average coming into today. .357, a home run, and 13 RBIs on the year. Reaching base just a few clicks beneath 400 at a .392 on base percentage. This one's driven out towards right center field over the head of Calabrese and to the wall. Rounding first and on her way to second goes Brooke Martin, and she's in with a stand-up one-out double in the top of the third. Another extra base hit for Caldwell. That's how they were able to break through the scoring when Ashley Tavaska, who's coming up to bat, ripped a triple and then was driven in by Lindsay Aller, who stands on deck. Tavaska leading this Caldwell team in batting average. Came in at .418. Has gone up slightly after the triple. I don't have the math to calculate that average currently. Tavaska shoots it the other way, and it's down the line and fair in right field. Rounding third and coming in to score comes Martin. Tavaska slides into second with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Caldwell in top of the third. A pair of extra base hits for Ashley Tavaska. And she continues to produce her 22nd RBI of the season. First pitch is in for a called strike to Lindsay Aller. An RBI single her last time up. And Tavaska with back-to-back multi-hit games after a 2-for-3 game 2. This one a sharply hit ground ball that's fielded by Dickinson, but she doesn't have a throw to first or to third as Tavaska advances and Aller reaches base. They will give Aller a single, and so there's runners on the corners for Mackenzie Nacional. The left fielders showing bunt. Pulls back and takes a called strike 1. Nacional grounded out to short her first time up. That ended the top of the first inning. Still just one gone in the top of the third inning. The 0-1. Slapped back to Barnett. Fires on to first. There's one. Biseglia fires home. It'll be late as coming in to score is Tavaska. And it's 3-0 Caldwell on the RBI ground out from Mackenzie Nacional. She's now got 10 ribbies on the season. Advancing over to second went Aller. And that brings up Brooke Freshy, who had a single her last time up in the second, was stranded over at third after a couple of stolen bases. Takes a first pitch ball upstairs. Freshy takes that for another ball. It's 2-0 now. Caldwell looking to build on its lead with Aller in scoring position over at second. That is fouled off by Freshy. 2-1. Freshy went 1 for 4 yesterday in the doubleheader against Southern Connecticut State. Takes that pitch inside. 3-1. She's 1 for 9 coming into today over her last 4 games. Swings through the 3-2, or the 3-1, excuse me, and now the count moves to 3-2. Aller still over at second base. Barnett rocks and deals the payoff pitch. Slapped up the middle. Searles fires on the first, and the inning is over, but Caldwell brings a pair of runs across on an RBI double from Tabasca, and then the RBI ground out from Nacional. We head to the bottom of the third. It's 3-0 Cougars here on the CACC Network. Back at Lemoy Field, bottom of the third inning, 7, 8, and 9 due up for post, facing Haley Fisher on the bump for Caldwell. She's been perfect through 2 innings, a pair of 1, 2, 3 innings. To begin her afternoon, she'll begin with Brooke Dickinson to begin this bottom of the third. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you could have me with you on this sunny Thursday afternoon in Waterbury. Dickinson, a 139 hitter with 1 RBI, reaching base at a 244 clip. And there's been a defensive change just in the outfield as Lexi Weiss will go over to left. And then in right is no longer Mackenzie Nacional. It is instead Rihanna Sapradero. That definitely isn't right by me. I do apologize. We'll cross that bridge in a little bit. First pitch is grounded on the infield, fielded by Tabasca, fires on to first, and Dickinson is retired. That will bring up Brianna Hines, the catcher, for post. Rihanna Sparandero is the right fielder now for Caldwell, as that is fouled back by Hines. Definitely closer pronunciation than what my first attempt was, so my apologies. Well, it's 0-2 now to Hines. Hines is 0 for her last 9 coming into today over her last 5 games. Went 0 for 3 yesterday against Assumption. Softly hit ground ball back to Fisher. Fielded on the backhand, flips to first, and it's in time for out number 2. Nice play by Haley Fisher, who has made quick work of this post lineup. Will now face the 9-hitter and Hannah Searles, the second baseman. First pitch swinging for Searles, and she lines it into right field for a base hit. So it was 8 up and 8 down for Haley Fisher until Hannah Searles broke through and gets its first hit and first base runner of the afternoon. Brings it back to the top of the order in Isabella Oliver, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout thus far. Swings on the first pitch. This is lifted out towards right field. And Sparandero is there to make the grab, and the inning is over. Searles reaches on a 2-out base hit. She won't advance any further, and we head to the 4th. Caldwell in front, 3-0. Back at Lemoy Field, top of the 4th inning. Caldwell coming back up. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the Caldwell order. Amanda Preston, Sam Dodonna, and Lexi Weiss to lead off. First pitch from Devin Barnett misses to Preston, who is 0 for 1 with a fly out to left, her last time up in the 2nd. 3-0 Caldwell, a run in the 1st and a pair in the 3rd. That is in there from Barnett for a called strike 1. The 1-1 moves upstairs, and 2-1 now to Preston. Preston went 0 for 2 in her one game played yesterday. Well, she's now 1 for 2 today as she lines this into the left field corner. Motoring around first on her way to second, in with a leadoff stand-up double to begin the top of the 4th inning. The 3rd extra base hit of the season for Preston. Now sets the table for Sam Dodonna, who was 0 for 1 with a strikeout her last time up in the 2nd. The freshman, another chance at breaking through with her first collegiate RBI, with Preston standing over at second. She chases on the first pitch low, and it's 0-1. Barnett's lone strikeout came of Dodonna in the 2nd inning. The 0-1. Softly hit ground ball. Sapia fields over at 3rd. It's a low throw, and it is in time for out number 1. Nice play over at first by Biseglia. Advancing over to 3rd goes Preston. So at the very least, Dodonna doing her job and getting her teammate closer. And that brings up Lexi Weiss, the now left fielder. It's a ground ball to Sapia. She'll fire on to first, and that is in time for out number 2. Coming in to score is Preston, And it's 4-0 Caldwell now on the RBI ground out from Lexi Weiss. Fourth RBI of the season for Weiss. Pair of 5-3 putouts for Sapia in this fourth inning. Misses down and inside to top of the order now, and Grace Vondracek, the designated player for Caldwell, who is 0 for 2 today. In there for a called strike for Vondracek. She came into today after an 0 for 3 Game 2 against Southern Connecticut State. Prior to that, she had a 4-game hitting streak, with 3 of those being multi-hit games. Knocked down by Barnett, fires on to first, and it is in time to retire Vondracek. But Amanda Preston comes in on the RBI ground out from Lexi Weiss. 4-0 Caldwell as we head to the bottom of the fourth on the CACC network. Welcome back to Lemoyne Field. Bottom of the fourth inning, Alex Biseglia leads off for Post, who are trailing 4-0 after Caldwell added another run on an RBI groundout from Lexi Weiss. Biseglia fouls the first pitch off. She's 0 for 1, went down looking her first time up in the first. Alyssa Calabrese and Bailey Dickinson due up after. The one is inside, and it's 1-1. Haley Fisher has been making quick work of this post order. Just 1 hit allowed and 1 base runner the first time through the order. Came from Hannah Searles with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Other than that, it's been 3 strikeouts, some groundouts, and some flyouts for this post order. As Biseglia fouls it off, and the count is at 2-2. Fisher deals, and Biseglia drives it the other way, foul down the first base line. It's 2-2. Is in the dirt. Full count to Biseglia. Payoff pitch is low. And that is a leadoff walk for Biseglia to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. First leadoff base runner to reach for Post today, as Alyssa Calabrese will step up to bat. Comes in second on the team in average at 289. Was named to CACC Honor Roll this past week. Takes the first pitch for a called strike from Fisher. Calabrese takes it low, and it's 1-1. She went 0 for 5 at the dish against Assumption yesterday. She's been now 0 for her last 8 over the last 4 games. Prior to that, she was 5 for 11 in the prior 4 with 2 multi-hit games. There she's able to beat out the throw to first and avoid a 6-4-3 double play. Instead, Biseglia is retired just at second, and taking her place at first is is Calabrese on the fielder's choice. Bailey Dickinson will now step up to bat. Popped out to the second baseman her last time up. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1. In for a called strike, and it's 1-1 to Dickinson. Misses, and it's 2-1. Dickinson went 1 for 1 in game 2 against Assumption. Prior to that, she was 0 for her last 6 in the last 3 games, including an 0 for 3 mark in game 1 against Assumption. She turns on this one and pulls it foul down the left field line. Count moves to 2-2. Dickinson clips it straight back after being jammed inside by Fisher. Two teams moving in opposite directions in this one. Post comes in, losers of 5 straight, as Dickinson goes down looking on Fisher's 4th strikeout of the afternoon, second by the looking variety. Meanwhile, for Caldwell, they have won 5 straight and sit at 5-1 in conference play. They dropped their opener to Goldie Beacom, and since then they've won the next 5 in conference play as well. Sapia comes up to bat, is 0 for 1, flew out to center her first time up in the second. Fouls this one back, and it's 0-1. Post just the one CACC doubleheader played so far. That was against Bridgeport, who lost both of those. 8-0 and 13-0 were the scores. Sapia chops it to third. Throw is high, but getting her foot back on the bag was Martin. And the inning is over. A 5-3 put out from Aller sends us to the 5th. It's 4-0 Post on, 4-0 Caldwell on the CACC network. Top of the 5th inning from Lemoy Field, 4-0 Caldwell in front on the CACC network. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you can make me a part of your Thursday afternoon. It's a sunny day on the campus of Post University. Leading off is Brooke Martin, the first baseman. She's 1 for 2. scored back in the third after ripping a one-out double. Was driven in on the double by Ashley Tavaska. That made it 2-0 Caldwell. They've since added a couple more runs. Tavaska came in that same inning on a RBI ground out from Mackenzie Nacional. And then just an inning ago, Lexi Weiss, an RBI ground out that drove in Amanda Preston. That skips in from Barnett, and it's 3-0 now to Brooke Martin. Barnett has not issued a walk yet today, but came in delivering 18 throughout this early start of the season. And there is number 19 as that misses upstairs. A 4-pitch walk to begin the top of the fifth to Brooke Martin. That's been the problem for Barnett this season. As I said, 19 walks now. Just a year ago, she had just delivered 14 walks across 18 appearances. This one's in the dirt. Advancing over to second goes Martin. And the throw is behind the the shortstop Dickinson covering, and Searles, the second baseman, backing it up. Martin advances on the wild pitch, and she's now in scoring position for Ashley Tavaska, who is 2 for 2 with a pair of extra base hits, a triple in the first and a second in the third. Takes it low, and it's 2-0. That is 6 straight balls dealt by Barnett to begin this fifth inning. A 2-0. In for a strike from Barnett. She's able to get back in the count, finding that outside corner. The 2-1 to Tavaska is upstairs, and it's 3-1. After being hitless in Game 2 yesterday against Southern Connecticut State, Tavaska looking to start a new streak of hitting and getting on base, and she continues that with a 5-pitch walk to put runners on first and second with nobody out in the top of the fifth inning. That brings Lindsay Aller to the plate. CACC Rookie of the Week a week ago. Is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. Had an RBI single in the first that drove in Tavaska. Gave Caldwell its first lead of the day. And it looks like we will have a pinch hitter. From our spot out here in right field, a little difficult for me to make out the number, but it's number 4, Emily Tavaska. Yes, there is another Tavaska, the sister of Ashley, in her freshman season. She's making her 20th appearance. She's batting .087 to begin her freshman year, 2 for 23 at the dish. Has 1 RBI on the year. First pitch is high to Tavaska. She appeared in both games yesterday against Southern Connecticut State, but didn't register an at-bat in either of them. Did score in Game 2. As Barnett evens the count at 1-1. She hasn't had a registered at-bat since the 22nd of March against Chestnut Hill, where she went 0 for 1. Takes that low, and it's 2-1. It's been a busy last week for Caldwell, as Tavaska's out in front on the breaking pitch, and it's 2-2. This marks the 6th doubleheader that they've played in 7 days for Caldwell. As the count is full at 3-2. Tavaska chases, and that is strike 3. His first base is occupied, so no drop third. And Barnett gets her second strikeout of the afternoon. First out in the top of the 5th. But as I was saying, for Caldwell, it's been a busy last week. Began on Friday at home against Southern New Hampshire. They've been fortunate to be at home for most of these games. Then had Chestnut Hill on Saturday, and Sunday they wrapped things up against Bentley. Had Monday off and then stayed in New Jersey as they went on the road to Felician. Back at home yesterday against Southern Connecticut State. And now they're here at Post this Thursday. They'll have tomorrow off before they head to Philadelphia to take on Jefferson on Saturday. So a busy last week for Caldwell, but they've just suffered 2 losses in those games. Dropped the first one to Southern New Hampshire on Friday, 9-6, and then fell to Bentley by 1 run in Game 1 on Sunday, 5-4. Three 3-0 the count. Barnett deals, and that is inside ball 4 to Sparandero, who is coming in place of Mackenzie Nacional, playing in right field. And the bases are loaded with just 1 out. Third walk of the inning for Barnett. Delivers a first pitch strike to Brooke Freshy. The 0-1 is in for another called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Freshy. Here comes the 0-2. This is flipped out towards right field, and it will be foul. Count stays where it is at 0-2. Just 1 gone on the strikeout of Emily Tavaska, and now there's 2 gone on another strikeout as Freshy goes down. 3 strikeouts for Barnett. 2 gone. She's looking to escape trouble here in the 5th as Amanda Preston will come up to bat. She doubled and scored her last time up in the 4th. It's another pinch hitter. And first pitch swinging, it's grounded to Dickinson. She fires on to first, and the inning is over. That was Juju Gonzalez that was up to bat. And Barnett escapes trouble in the 5th, had the bases loaded, but no runs come across to score for Caldwell. We head to the bottom half. 4-0, Cougars in front. Welcome back to Lemoy Field. Emily Tavaska now slots in at third base in place of Lindsay Aller. And the rest of the defense unchanged as Tavaska quickly into the fire, has trouble fielding that bouncing ball from Angelica Tompkins. And Tompkins will reach base to begin this bottom of the fifth inning. It'll be an error against Haley Fisher. And the pitcher, both of them were over there. First error of the day for either side. This is a sharply hit ground ball. Donna lost it as she was trying to tag out Tompkins going over to second. And Tompkins will be safe. Going over to first is Brooke Dickinson. And both of the first two batters reach base for post. Dickinson will reach on the fielder's choice. Unsure if that will be an error against Adana. They won't give her one. Brings up Brianna Hines, who is 0 for 1. Grounded out to the pitcher her last time up in the third. Lays down a bunt. Tavaska fields, fires onto first, and she's able to get the first out. Advancing to third goes Tompkins, and Dickinson goes over to second. Post with a pair of runners in scoring position as the 9-hitter Hannah Searles comes up to bat. Searles singled her last time up, the lone hit prior to the single by Dickinson in this inning. This one chopped in front of home plate. Fisher fields, flips to home, and sliding under the tag is Tompkins. And Post has its first run here in the bottom of the fifth. Heads up base running by Tompkins. Advancing over to third goes Dickinson. And standing on first is Searles. Back to the top of the order, Isabella Oliver takes a call and strike one at the knees. Oliver takes the 0-1 downstairs, and it's 1-1. Post feeling good after forcing Caldwell to leave the bases loaded in the top half of this inning. Now they bring a run across in the bottom half, and Oliver lines this into left field. Dickinson will score. Advancing to second goes Searles, and Isabella Oliver has an RBI single to make it 4-2. The second RBI for Isabella Oliver, her first hit of the afternoon. And Post doing some damage here in the bottom of the fifth. And cut the lead in half. And still more chances for some runs, as that is in for a called strike to Alex Biseglia. Searles is over at second. Oliver is at first. The wind continues to blow from right to left across the outfield. Well, from right to left for those of you watching at home, and from left field to right field, if you're thinking about it in terms of the field. Count is at 2-1 to Biseglia, who walked her last time up, struck out her very first time way back in the first inning. She shoots this one foul down the right field line, 2-2. Alyssa Calabrese stands on deck. Two misses high and outside, and the count runs full to Biseglia. Payoff pitch from Fisher. Grounded towards third. Tavasca will step on the bag. Fires to second. The throw is high, and sliding under is Isabella Oliver. So Searles is out on the 5 unassisted, and then Oliver takes her place at second, and Biseglia is over at first on the fielder's choice. As Alyssa Calabrese comes up to bat. And the wind has now shifted, blowing in from right center field as Calabrese swings on the first pitch. Popped up on the infield. Tavasca can't field it cleanly, and the bases are loaded with 2 away. Calabrese will pick up a base hit. And now Bailey Dickinson has a chance to potentially tie the game with a tying run in Alex Biseglia standing over at second. The go-ahead runs at first in Alyssa Calabrese. Isabella Oliver rounds things out at first. Dickinson swings on the first pitch and again pulls it foul just a little early. Second time we've seen that from Dickinson. And she's just a bit out in front of that pitch from Fisher. The 0-1. High and outside, 1-1 to Dickinson. The 1-1. Off the mark outside, 2-1. Two on, in at the knees of Dickinson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Bases loaded. Caldwell in front, 4-2. Fisher kicks and deals, and Dickinson drives it foul down the right field line. We'll do it all over again on the 2-2. Dickinson thus far 0 for 2, a pop out and a strikeout on our afternoon thus far. Another 2-2 delivery, and Dickinson jammed inside, pops it up behind home plate. It will drift out of play. She's able to stay alive and keep the count where it is. Nyla Sapia stands on deck if this inning advances further. Another 2-2 from Fisher. Dickinson on the ground to short. Bobbled by Tavasca, and she can't pick it up. Coming in to score is Oliver, and it's 4-3. As Dickinson spoiled 3 straight foul balls before putting one in play, and Ashley Tavasca couldn't field the sharply hit ground ball. Post. 1 run away from tying things up. Alex Biseglia is at third, and Alyssa Calabrese is at second. Bailey Dickinson now over at first as she picks up a single and an RBI. And now Nyla Sapia, who's 0 for 2, has a chance to deliver the tying and potentially the go-ahead run for Post. They've scored 3 runs in this bottom half of the 5th inning. Completely have turned the game on its head. Caldwell was working comfortably with a 4-0 lead, had a chance to add more in the top half of this inning, had the bases loaded. But a strikeout of Brooke Freshy, as well as a ground out of Amanda Preston, Juju Gonzalez, ended that inning. Instead, flipped the table back in Post's favor. They got some runners on. They've taken advantage as Sapia takes a called strike, and that's 1-1. Leah Marrero running in place of Bailey Dickinson over at first. The 1-1. Sapia lifts it out towards shallow right center field, charging in, and not being able to make the grab is Freshy. Post has tied the game. And they might have taken the lead. Runners on first and second. So Biseglia scores, as does Calabrese. And Post is in front 5-4. A 5 spot in the bottom of the 5th inning has Post in front. Marrero's over at third, and on first is Sapia on a 2-run single that was flown out towards right center field. Basically a Bermuda triangle of fielders were trying to get back there, and Sam Dodonna, Brooke Freshy, and the right fielder in Lexi Weiss. And it was in and out of the glove of Freshy as she crashed into Weiss. As this is hit on the ground to short, Tabasca Fields fires on to first, and the inning is over to retire Tompkins, who started this inning reaching on an error, and it ends in a ground out of Tompkins, but Post has come all the way back. They hold a 5-4 lead as we head into the 6th on the CACC network. Welcome back to Lemoyne Field, top of the 6th inning, and this game has completely turned on its head. 4-0 Caldwell. They held the lead heading into the bottom of the 5th. Post puts up 5 runs. They hold a 5-4 lead. And now beginning this top of the 6th is Sam Dodonna, who leads off with a seeing eye single through the left side of the infield. And she now represents the tying run on the base paths for Caldwell, who was in firm control. A 4-0 lead, had just allowed 1 hit through 4 innings. And then Post puts up 5 runs, adds 4 hits, along with 2 errors. This throw down from Hines is late, and sliding in is Dodonna with a stolen base. Weiss went around on the first pitch, so I believe it is 0-1. That misses on the 0-1 to Weiss. And the count sits at 1-1. Weiss picked up an RBI in the 4th inning on a ground out. This one is driven out towards center field. Dodonna will get the stop sign over at third, and Weiss will stand on first. Back-to-back base hits to begin the 6th. And Caldwell looking to tie and potentially take the lead back. After having the bases loaded in the 5th and on 3 walks, but weren't able to take advantage. And now we'll have a mound visit and a pitching change for Post. So Devin Barnett's day comes to a close. And Alyssa Hughes will get the ball for the Eagles. And the top of the 6th inning, a 5-4 Post lead. Both base runners will be Barnett's responsibility. Barnett will exit, and she goes 5 innings, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned on 9 hits with 3 strikeouts and 3 walks. Of course, that can change as both the base runners on and Donna and Weiss are Barnett's responsibility. They reached on her accord. As Alyssa Hughes will now come into pitch for Post. For Hughes, she'll make her 10th appearance on the season. Has a 9.16 ERA through 18 1/3 innings pitched. Has given up 28 runs, 24 of those earned on 43 hits. 5 Ks to 7 walks. Opponents are batting .443 against the right-hander. Now at the top of the order in Grace Vondracek, who is 0 for 3 thus far. Takes the first pitch strike, and in between on whether she was going or not was Lexi Weiss, and no one on Post noticed, and she is able to advance over to second on a stolen base. So puts both runners in scoring position for Vondracek. That is low and away from Hughes, and it's 1-1. Dodana's at third. She represents the tying run and the go-ahead run in Weiss over at second. That is into Vondracek for a called strike, and it's 1-2. A pop out and a pair of ground outs for Grace Vondracek so far today. The 1-2 from Hughes is high, and the count's evened at 2-2. Vondracek takes, and it is a now full count with nobody out and 2 runners on for Caldwell in the top of the 6th. And the shift is on for Post, playing towards the left field line as the right fielder Calabrese is in right center field, as this one is slapped up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Dodana scores, Weiss will score, and Grace Vondracek gives Caldwell the lead back on a 2-run single to make it 6-5 Cougars. Quiet no more is Grace Vondracek. RBIs number 7 and 8 on the season. And we've already seen Caldwell steal a couple of bases in this inning. Don't be surprised to see Vondracek go early. 19 for 23 on stolen bases this season as Brooke Martin, the 2-hitter, comes up, and Vondracek going on the very first pitch, but it was fouled off by Martin, so she will head back to first. Vondracek going once again. This one taken outside. The throw down from Hines is not in time. Vondracek getting under the tag, and she has her 20th stolen base of the season. She goes into scoring position with nobody out in the top of the 6th. This one grounded by Martin, fielded by the second baseman Searles, flips to first, and there's one gone. Advancing to third goes Vondracek. And that sets the table for Ashley Tavaska, who has reached base all 3 times today. A triple, double, and a walk. She's also added an RBI on her double in the 3rd. First pitch is in for a called strike to Tavaska. That bounces in the dirt, gets away from Hines. Coming to score comes Vondracek. And Caldwell answers back from the 5 runs put up in the bottom of the 5th by Post with 3 runs of their own, and they're in front 7-5 in the top of the 6th. The 1-1. Grounded foul by Tavaska, and the count moves to 1-2. The 1-2. Popped up out of play. Count stays where it is to Tavaska. And another foul ball from Tavaska keeps the count at 1-2. Post took advantage of 4 Caldwell errors in the bottom of the 5th with 5 runs to take a 5-4 lead. Well, Caldwell has gotten its bats back alive. A couple of singles to begin the inning from Sam Dodonna and Lexi Weiss, and then another single from Grace Vondracek that drove in both of them. And then Vondracek scored on a wild pitch to make it 7-5. Upstairs to Tavaska, and the count runs full at 3-2. Payoff pitch from Hughes. This is driven deep out towards left field. Tompkins goes back, looks up, and it is gone. A solo home run for Ashley Tavaska. Makes it 8-5 Caldwell. Her 3rd extra base hit of this contest. And sits 1 hit away from a cycle on her 4th home run of the season. And it's 8-5 Caldwell. Tavaska battled and battled some more, and then delivered a high-arching home run towards left field to make it 8-5 Caldwell, as they've plated 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning, and there's still just 1 out. As Lindsay Aller will come back into bat. She was pinch hit by Emily Tavaska last time. But of course, you can sub in, some out, or sub in and sub out with softball. So Aller back at the dish. Aller thus far is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and an RBI. Takes that away, and it's 1-1. Looking at Ashley Tavaska, 3 for 3. A couple of RBIs, 3 runs scored, now the home run. She had a triple her first time up in the 1st, a double in the 3rd, now the home run. She worked a walk in the 5th. Basically as close as you can get to having a cycle without having it with the walk instead of the single. Count set 2-1 after back-to-back balls delivered by Hughes. Called strike on the outside corner has it at 2-2. The 2-2. Grounded into left field. Base hit for Aller. She's 3 for 3 with a trio of base knocks. And the inning continues for Caldwell. Just the one batter retired and Brooke Martin on a ground out. Other than that, it's been 5 base hits, or 4 hits, 4 of them being base hits, and then, of course, the solo home run from Ashley Tabasca. First pitch is in for a called strike to Rihanna Sparandero, the left fielder for Caldwell. The 0-1. Hit foul down the first base side and into the fence next to the post dugout. Quickly ahead is Hughes 0-2. And Hughes misses outside on the 0-2. Count moves to 1-2. Hughes loops it outside on the 1-2, and the count is evened at 2-2 now to Sparandero. Two comes in. That is high. Full count now. Sparandero worked a walk her first time up in the 5th. She has battled all the way back from an 0-2 hole. Stayed patient, and the count runs full. 3-2. Payoff pitch from Hughes. Outside, ball 4. So a pair of walks for Sparandero on her trips to the plate today. That one working backwards, fell behind 0-2, stayed patient. Hughes couldn't find the zone. That brings up Brooke Freshy. As the wind has now shifted into blowing straight into our faces out in right center field. Freshy is 1 for 3, a single, ground out, and a strikeout so far today. Takes that outside. The count is at 1-1. Freshy turns, drives this out towards left field. Tompkins takes a couple of steps in, makes the grab, and there is out number 2 in this 6th inning. And now batting is number 10, Juju Gonzalez. Swings on the first pitch. Let's say pop up into the crowd on the third base side. Gonzalez grounded out her first time up in the 5th on a ground out to Brooke Dickinson over at shortstop. The 0-1 from Hughes is in the dirt. Blocked by Hines behind the plate. Aller's over at second, and Sparandero's at first. The 1-1. Low in the dirt, 2-1. Gonzalez, a .250 hitter, just making her 9th appearance of the season. Came in 2 for 8 at the dish today. She's 0 for 1 thus far with the ground out, but she's ahead 3-1. Standing on deck is Sam Dodonna, who began this inning with a single. Eventually came in to score on a 2-run single from Grace Vondracek. The 3-1. This is hit up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Aller gets the wave around at third. She'll come in to score standing up. And it's 9-5 Caldwell on Gonzalez's first RBI of the season for her. And first career RBI for Juju Gonzalez, the freshman out of San Diego, California.
2-3 on Bailey's hit. I don't even know what happened there.
Makes it 9-5 Caldwell.
Yeah, I was like, oh gosh.
As Aller scores, Gonzalez steals second on the first pitch to Dodonna. Over at third is Sparandero. This is hit on the ground towards third. Sapia Fields. Throw is low. Trying to advance over to third goes Gonzalez, and she is out. Tag applied by Dickinson, and the inning is over. But Caldwell plates 5 runs in the 6th, and they're up 9-5 as we head to the bottom half. Post looking for an answer. Maybe they have some more magic left in them, as we'll come back on the CACC network. Back at Lemoy Field, 10-5 Caldwell in front. As a run did come in to score on that last little chaotic play. Sparandero came in to score, so it's... Nope, it just changed back down to 9-5. Live stats are kind of moving around a little bit. It looks to have settled at 9-5 as we come into the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher on the mound, and first pitch swinging and popping it up. Foul is Brooke Dickinson. Now on the mound is Katie O'Connor for Caldwell. A 3.67 ERA through 14 appearances. She's making her 15th of the year as Dickinson drives us out towards center field. Coming in is Freshie, and she'll make the grab for out number 1. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Post in the bottom half of this 6th inning. And that'll bring up now Brianna Hines. So for O'Connor, as I said, 3.67 ERA. Her 15th appearance of the year. Has picked up 1 save. And she's 5-5 on the year. Has thrown 61 innings, giving up 42 runs, 32 of those earned on 63 hits. 26 strikeouts to 16 walks. Opponents are batting .261 against the right-hander. Hines thus far is 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts on her afternoon. In for a called strike. Count is at 1-2 to Hines. Hit on the ground, fielded by Aller at third, fires across the diamond, and in time for out number 2. So Aller's back at third in place of Emily Tavaska. That brings up Hannah Searles, the 9-hitter and second baseman for Post. She's reached both times today, singled and then reached on a fielder's choice. Well, now Hines is retired. I guess they pulled a foul ball the last time. And now she's down on a strikeout. First one for Katie O'Connor today. And now it is Hannah Searles. And she takes the first pitch strike from O'Connor. That is low, and it's 1-1. O'Connor did not pitch yesterday against Southern Connecticut State. Last threw on Tuesday against Felician. Went 2 innings, giving up 1 run. It was unearned on 2 hits with a strikeout. Searles drives it out towards left field. Charging in and making the grab is Weiss. It's a 1-2-3 inning for O'Connor as we head to the 7th. Caldwell in front. 9-5 on the CACC network. Welcome back to Lemoyne Field. Pinch hitter for Caldwell, Maddie Matkoski. She will be pinch hitting in place of Lexi Weiss. Matkoski, a .327 hitter, has 7 RBIs on the year and takes a called strike outside. It's now back up to a 10-5 Caldwell lead on the live stats. It was 9-5 in the bottom of the 6th. It's now gone up to 10-5, and going down on strikes goes Matt Koski, and Hughes delivers her first strikeout. There has been a lot going on in this game. Caldwell won in front 4-0 with runs in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th before Post plated 5 runs in the 5th, taking advantage of 3 Caldwell errors before the Cougars then brought 6 runs across in the top of the 6th. And that is where we stand now. Placing a bunt down the first base side goes Vondracek, down the third base line goes Vondracek, and she will reach on a 1-out bunt single. So Vondracek, who was 0 for 3 prior to the 6th inning, has now gotten on base with a pair of singles the last 2 times up. Going is Vondracek on the first pitch. The throw down is late, and it's the second stolen base of the afternoon for Grace Vondracek. She's now 21 of 25 on stolen bases this season. First pitch misses to Brooke Martin. That is outside to Martin once again. Vondracek in scoring position. Pitch home is in for a called strike. Count set 3-1. Martin lines it towards short. Dickinson fields it on a hop. Low throw, the stretch and the pick by Seglia for out number 2. Advancing the third goes Vondracek. There's 2 away in the top of the 7th. Ashley Tavaska comes up. She is 3 for 3, 1 single away from the cycle here in the top of the 7th. Tripled in the first, then doubled with an RBI in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, and hit a solo home run in the 6th. Fouls this off down the right field line. The 0-2 is upstairs, and it's at 1-2 now to Tavaska. The 1-2, and Tavaska another foul ball.
Now, if like the second baseman had tried to grab that, yeah, or even the shortstop, because they were like under.
Because that's what like Chris knows from me. So,
Yeah.
like if it's a routine thing, then
Right.
it's an error. So her going
Yeah.
in.
There was nothing routine.
The 1-2. Tavaska shoots it towards right field, and making the catch is Calabrese, and that will end the top of the 7th. So no cycle for Tavaska, but Caldwell looking to close things out in the bottom of the 7th. They will face the top of the order in Isabella Oliver, Alex Biseglia, and Alyssa Calabrese when we come back on the CACC Network.
Don't worry about like.
Bottom of the 7th from Lemoy Field. Post, for the first time at home, has gone 7 innings against an opponent. And they'll be trailing by 5 runs. Looking to create some more magic like they had in the 5th inning, where they brought 5 runs across, taking advantage of a couple of errors. The stats have changed a little bit as this game's gone along, but Isabella Oliver leads off and grounds the first pitch foul down the third base line.
Oh, good. I feel like they've been lasting longer. Well, we'll do what we did last time. That too. We'll shut them down between games. Do what we did yesterday.
Oliver takes that one in for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. This is lifted left field. Weiss is there. She'll make the grab, and there's one gone in the bottom of the 7th. Katie O'Connor looking to close things out for Caldwell in the bottom of the 7th. Replaced Haley Fisher in the last inning. And this is grounded foul by Alex Biseglia.
Joe just got here. He's probably like, what?
Biseglia is 0 for 2 thus far. Strikeout, walk, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 5th.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot about that.
The 1-1. Painted outside, called strike. 1-2. Biseglia lifts it to the shortstop in Tavaska, and she'll make the grab. 2 gone. So Alyssa Calabrese is the last chance for Post to try and keep this going. 1 for 3 today. Singled her last time up in the 5th. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th and grounded out in the 1st. Takes a first pitch ball, and it's 1-0.
Huh? Yeah, I did it last year. It was actually more difficult last year because I didn't have.
Misses low, and now it's 2-0 to Calabrese. This has been a eventful game 1 between these two. Game 2 to follow shortly after the conclusion of this game. And that is in for a strike to Calabrese, and it's 2-1. The longest Post had gone at home prior to this game was 6 innings. As Calabrese cuts and misses on the 2-1, and it's 2-2. O'Connor looking for one more strike to end this and give Caldwell a come-from-behind victory in Game 1 after scoring 6 in the 6th. Calabrese, fly ball deep towards center field, over the head and into the wall. Calabrese, stand-up double with 2 gone in the 7th. Another multi-hit game for Alyssa Calabrese. Driving that over the head of Brooke Freshy out in center field. Bailey Dickinson will now come up. Had an RBI single last time up in the 5th. Prior to that, a pop-out and a strikeout. First pitch is low to Dickinson, and it's 1-0. clips that back. 1-1 now. Moves upstairs. And 2-1 now to Dickinson.
It's actually warmer doing this.
Off speed comes in, and it's a called strike. Dickinson. And a 2-2 count. O'Connor looking for one more strike. Calabrese ripped a double last time up with 2 strikes. Dickinson down the line and left, and for the 3rd time, she pulls it just a little too much, and it's foul. O'Connor rocks and deals another 2-2. Dickinson pops it up. Foul ground, third base side, lands on top of the Caldwell dugout. So we'll do it all over again on another 2-2. Outside from O'Connor. Count runs full with 2 gone. Calabrese over at second. If this inning continues, it's Nyla Sapia waiting on deck. The payoff pitch. Popped up behind home plate, and they won't get over there in time. The at-bat continues against Dickinson. Another payoff pitch from O'Connor. And Dickinson pulls this to left. And the catch is made by Weiss to end game 1 in favor of Caldwell, 10-5. Post scored 5 runs in the 5th to take the lead. And then Caldwell answered with 6 of their own in the 6th. And they take game 1, 10-5. Game 2 coming up in a little while between Post and Caldwell. But that'll do it for game 1. Cougars make it 6 straight wins as the Eagles now have dropped 6 consecutive games. Game 2 will come up in a little while on the CACC network. That will be a shortened 5-inning game. But until then, I've been Matt Scalzo. See you in a little bit.